This peach syrup is now peach jam.
Hi, my name is Kim, and you're at Kim's Cozy Corner. I try to grow and preserve all of my own foods. And so I try not to have to buy anything from the grocery store. But when I do purchase items or if I grow items, I try not to waste anything. And I made some peach syrup um, about 6 months ago, I guess it was. I'm losing track of time. But I made some peach syrup. So I made peaches, right? I made diced peaches. I saved those peaches and I had a ton of liquid and pieces left, right? Pieces that weren't in chunks. And so I made peach syrup out of it. I thought that my family would take the peach syrup and they would pour it into their yogurt and have peach yogurt. But they just really don't want to do that. And since they don't want to do that, I want to put this in a different format so that it can get used up. I don't want it just sitting on the shelf and not being used. So I am going to turn all of this peach syrup into peach jam. And I am going to use a recipe out of this book right here. The link to this book is in the description below. But there is a recipe in here for making peach jelly, or jam, I should say, making peach jam. And I am going to use pectin this time because I'm in somewhat of a hurry. If you use pectin, you can go really quick. You don't have to cook it for a long period of time trying to get the temperature up or trying to do the sheet test to make sure that your jelly has formed. Pectin will do that for you. So we will use pectin today. So this recipe calls for 4 cups of finely chopped pieces, parts, and whatever's left. So 4 cups, and I have more than 4 cups, so we will have to do the math to figure out how much I really have. But 4 cups of peaches, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and 6 tablespoons of the pectin, and 5 cups of sugar. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not using 5 cups of sugar. I'm going to cut back because there's sugar already in this syrup. So I will have to cut back on the sugar. But since I'm using pectin, I don't have to worry about the gelling effect. The pectin will take care of that for me. So I don't have to have quite as much sugar in there. But that's the recipe. We're going to get started. I got to first find out exactly how much I have. So we're going to have to measure as we go. This will be a water bath canning recipe. I have my water bath canner already on, heating up the water, and I'm trying to get, I don't want it boiling yet, but I do need the water to be warm because you need the temperature of your fruit or your liquid or whatever it is that you're canning. You want your jars, the material you're canning, and the water you're going to start it in all to be roughly to the same temperature, right? You want it all hot. You don't want anything ice cold and then you throw it in here because it could crack your jars. All right, let's get started. Let's measure and see exactly how much we're working with. All right, I wish I had one of those beautiful can openers or jar openers, lid openers, but I don't. I don't have one. So we're going to use this jar opener, can opener right here. Let me get my book out of the way. I don't want to accidentally put any jam in my book here. But let's start measuring here. Let's see what we got. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, that was the perfect syrup. But my family just weren't interested. And it smells amazing. So another thing, it smells amazing. I'm going to get it all out. I don't want to waste any of it. What I liked about it is that it has little tiny pieces of peaches in it. So it's going to give it that like chunky effect in their yogurt. But the only thing they want to put in their yogurt, it appears to be, is granola. That's it. They don't want the fruit in the yogurt. And I do make homemade yogurt, so maybe I'm making it too good. It's so good that they don't even care about improving the quality of it, huh? All right, let me get all these jars open and let's see what we're working with. And then I will bring you back. It'd be great if I could get right up to 8 cups, but I don't think I'm gonna make it. We're gonna get close. And look at that, y'all. 8 cups. That worked out well. Exactly 8 cups. So we know we can just double this recipe. That makes things very easy. That's easy math. All right, let me get the peaches off of me. And now that I'm remembering, this was peaches and smells like raspberries. I know it was a mixed fruit, but it was like 85% fruit peaches. So we have 8 cups of peach syrup. Okay, peaches, a little bit of raspberry, and sugar. We're gonna move this over to a pot here, and we're gonna start this process. So let me get you reset up and we will move over to the new spot. All right, according to this recipe, it reduces the cooking time when you use pectin down to 1 minute. So that's always good. But the first thing that we need to do is whisk the pectin into the fruit until it's dissolved. Then we're going to bring it to a boil. Then we're going to add in the sugar after we add in the pectin. Let's get everything over here. I don't want to waste it. I'm bad about wasting things. Spilling things, I should say. Not wasting, spilling. I don't even have the stove on yet. Let's see here. Let's get the stove on. So it called for 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. So instead of 2, we're going to put in 4 because I'm doubling the batch. I got to make sure I'm stirring it up because I want to make sure everything's going to be mixed in nice. All right, so now we need to add our pectin and we need to bring it to a boil. So to double the pectin, I need 12 tablespoons because we're making a double batch. 1, 2, 3. Now I got to stir it in. Got to get all the lumps out. I should have been stirring as I was dumping it. I honestly don't like to use pectin. I prefer to do it the natural way where you just cook it down. You get that temperature up to where it needs to be. And no pectin needed. I'm in a hurry today. Now I do have a few chunks of, like I said, peaches in here. But I want to make sure it's a peach and not pectin, that I don't get mixed up very well. I just want you to see what's going on here. I'm starting to get a boil. It's a slow boil right now, but I am stirring constantly because I don't want any sticking. But I am starting to get that boiling happening right now. I have it over high heat. Here comes that boil. See that? See how it's boiling there? A nice rolling boil. And so now we're going to move to the next step. And the next step is to add in all of this sugar, mix it up really, really good, and we're going to bring it back to this bowl. And when I start adding the sugar, the bowl is going to go away, but it will come back. It called for 5, 3. Yes, it called for 5, and I've put in 3. I'm going to put in 4 actually because there is some sugar already in it because this was a syrup that I made. The next thing I gotta do is bring this back up to a boil, and it's only gotta boil for 1 minute. It's a much, much quicker process. And I'm already watching how it's dripping. And if I was using a spoon test, then I already know this would drip off as a sheet. So we are really already there, but we're gonna bring it back up to a boil. Sure, all of that sugar, and it's a lot of sugar, y'all. Woo! That's a lot of sugar and jelly. This definitely will set. You don't have to worry about setting issues or anything like that when you're using pectin. Wow, it's ready. It is ready. We just gotta get it hot. All right, when it comes back up to a boil, I'll bring you back so you can see it just before I jar this up and get it over in our pot over here. All right, we are boiling. You see all the white foam? And so I am supposed to basically bring it to a boil that won't go away, which is what we have right here. And I'm only supposed to let it boil for 1 minute, which we've already been boiling probably for 30 seconds or so. I keep stirring it because I do not want this to boil over at all. But this boil won't go away. Once you put that sugar in there with that pectin, you can't make the boil go away. You need to do it for about 1 minute. You don't want to burn your food. The next step, it depends on what you're trying to do. If you don't want that foam on the top of your canned foods, you can scrape the foam off and not use it. I don't care about the foam, so I don't scrape it off. I go ahead and put the foam and all in my jars. So that's what we're going to do. We will not be scraping the foam off because we've been boiling for more than a minute, not much more. But we're going to get it turned off, and we're going to start jarring this up. We only need to leave a 1/4 inch of headspace. And so, again, I'm not taking the foam off. You can take the foam off to make a nice, pretty jar. I am not. That foam will be there. We need a 1/4 inch of headspace. Let's see if I got enough jars out. That will be the question that we need to answer. So I'll get it all jarred up. And you see the foam, I'm dumping foam and all. But if you want a beautiful jar of jam, you want to scoop that foam off. And I'm running out of wide mouth jars, but I don't like to put my fruit in a jar that's not wide mouth. So I'm going to have to use a 1.5 pint size jar. I really didn't want to, but it's already trying to gel up on me. We're going to call that good, y'all. It's already jelly. We need to wipe the rims of our jars, and these jar rims are sticky. I'm going to use a damp paper towel to wipe the rims. We want to make sure we get a good seal. So it's important that these rims are nice and clean. It's looking good. It's time to move everything into our canner. The water in the canner is hot. The jars are hot. The jelly's hot, or jam, I should say, is hot. Now, and since I had to use this 1.5 pint size jar, I don't have enough water. We got to add water. We need the water to be at least 1 inch over. Okay, we need to bring this to a boil. After we bring it to a boil, we will let it boil for 10 minutes and then we're done. Boil for 10 minutes, turn the stove off, sit for 5 minutes, and then this project will be done and we'll move it over to a cooling station. So I'll bring you over when we get to that point.
So the jelly's done. I should say jam. So I let it sit in the pot for, I don't know, probably 10 minutes. You only have to do it for 5, but I think it was more like 10 minutes. You'll see there's foam at the top. I told you I don't care about the foam being at the top, but this jelly should set. So there's our peach jelly. They're still super hot, so I need to let them sit and cool. And then I will come back and show you how it's making, I said jelly, a jam. This is our peach jam. And I'll show you how it's jelly with the pectin. And then I'll pull out one of my apple jelly ones to show you the difference between my soft spread versus a true jam that's very firm from a jelly standpoint. So I'll bring you back after it cools to show you that last piece before we wrap this up for today. Okay, we are wrapping up this project. This jam, this peach jam, has completely gelled. The jars are cold. All of the jars did seal, but let's see if I can find a jar. This is probably the best jar to show you. Look at this jar. It's not moving, right? It's not moving. It's doing what it needs to do. It's a real jam. It didn't go anywhere, y'all. And so this jam is done. I do have the foam at the top. I tell you, I don't care about the foam at the top. So the foam being at the top doesn't matter to me. But now I have peach jam ready to go. And I believe it's peach and raspberry. I'm trying to remember what all I put in this when I made it initially. But this is ready to go. Now this is with pectin and you see it's not moving. This is without pectin and it moves just a little bit. This is a soft spread versus a fully jellied spread. So that's the difference. Pectin, no pectin. But all of this is here ready for us to enjoy, ready for us to gift as well. Because I made this in larger containers, it's going to last a nice long time once we finally put it in the fridge. And I was out of jars, so I had to use this one really big jar. This is probably several months worth. But this being canned, it will store for a very long time. Your jellies and jams, you know they're going bad when they turn to sugar, basically. So these are good to go. I'm going to definitely gift these for Christmas. These are going to be some of the perfect Christmas gifts to go along with some vanilla and maybe some other types of spreads. So perfect Christmas gifts if that's something you're interested in. Thank you for hanging out for this short clip on how to turn one of my canned items into something that was more appealing to my family. So we went from peach syrup to peach jelly, or should I say jam. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. I don't only do preserving videos, but I do garden videos as well. So if you're interested, come and join me. Turn on notifications and please don't forget to subscribe. So until next time, and I hope there will be a next time that you decide to hang out with me, Kim, at Kim's Cozy Corner. Bye.